Imagine a world where every decision is made with absolute certainty, where doubt is a foreign concept. This is the reality for people who never question their choices, a mindset that can be both empowering and isolating. At the core of this phenomenon lies the psychological concept of cognitive closure, the desire for definite knowledge and the discomfort with ambiguity. For these individuals, the need for a clear, unambiguous answer is not just a preference, it's a necessity. They move through life with a sense of purpose and direction that many of us can only dream of. But what drives this unwavering confidence? And what can we learn from those who seem to possess an unshakable belief in their decisions? Let's dive into the fascinating psychology of people who never doubt. The standard bearer of certainty is not someone who is merely opinionated, they are a beacon of resolve in a world that often confuses indecision with virtue. This individual thrives on the psychological principle of cognitive closure, which drives them to seek definitive answers and firm decisions. Unlike those who dither in the perpetual maybe, they find comfort and strength in the high ground of resolve. It's not that they are blind to other perspectives, rather, they have weighed the options and made a choice, understanding that indecision is a form of paralysis. Their certainty is not born out of arrogance but from a deep-seated need for clarity and direction, a trait that psychologist Jordan Peterson often highlights as essential for personal and societal well-being. In an era where a lack of conviction is mistakenly celebrated as open-mindedness, the standard bearer of certainty stands out. They reject the weakness of perpetual maybe, recognizing it as a mask for fear and indecision. This isn't about closed-mindedness, it's about the courage to take a stand. They embody the philosophical idea of amoris laetitia, or the joy of love, but in this case, the joy of conviction. They find fulfillment in knowing where they stand and what they believe, which allows them to move forward with purpose. Their resolve is a form of emotional armor, protecting them from the chaos and uncertainty that plague so many. The high ground of resolve is not a place of stagnation but of dynamic action. The standard bearer of certainty understands that certainty does not mean rigidity. They are adaptable, but their adaptability is rooted in principle, not whim. They draw strength from the philosophical concept of virtue ethics, where actions are guided by a commitment to virtues like courage, wisdom, and integrity. This resolve is not about being right all the time, it's about the courage to be wrong and learn from it. Their certainty is a compass, guiding them through the complexities of life with a sense of direction and purpose. It's a trait that sets them apart in a world that often values indecision over decisive action. The consensus seekers, often driven by the social psychological concept of normative social influence, are those who look to the crowd for cues before making a move. This isn't merely about being indecisive, it's a complex dance of observation, assessment, and adaptation. Picture a room filled with people at a networking event. The consensus seeker isn't the one striking up conversations randomly. Instead, they're watching, waiting, calculating. They might feel a sense of unease, heart rate slightly elevated, as they scan the room. They're not lazy, they're conserving energy, ensuring their actions will align with the group's norms. This behavior is a rational defense mechanism, a way to minimize potential social rejection. It's not about lack of confidence, but rather, a strategic approach to social interactions. Yet, this approach has its trade-offs. The consensus seeker might feel a persistent, low-level anxiety, a gnawing sense of discontent. This is reminiscent of the hedonic treadmill, where one constantly strives for a sense of belonging but never quite feels satisfied. They might feel like they're always playing catch-up, never truly leading. They might find themselves in situations that don't resonate with their personal values, simply because they followed the crowd. Their path is determined by the majority, not their inner compass. The sovereign, on the other hand, possesses what might be termed a commander's eye, an ability to see a path and walk it without looking back to see if anyone is following. This isn't arrogance or recklessness, it's a form of self-determined action, aligning with self-determination theory, which emphasizes the importance of autonomy, competence, and relatedness. The sovereign doesn't wait for permission or approval. They assess situations independently, make decisions based on their own values and goals, and move forward with confidence. They might feel a sense of calm, a steady resolve. Their heart rate remains steady, their breath even. They're not oblivious to the crowd, but they're not beholden to it either. This independence, however, can sometimes lead to isolation. The sovereign might feel like an island, surrounded by water, not understanding why others don't just swim to shore instead of waiting for a bridge. But this isolation is also a form of protection. It's a boundary, a way of preserving their autonomy and integrity. It's not that they don't value connections, but they won't compromise their principles for the sake of fitting in. Their path is their own, and they walk it with a steady gaze, looking neither to the left nor the right, but always forward. This isn't mere stubbornness, it's a strategic alignment with the principle of cognitive consistency, a psychological theory that highlights our preference for harmony in our beliefs and values. Picture a courtroom drama unfolding not in a grand hall, but in the everyday spaces of life. The person who stands firm in their convictions isn't just making a statement, they're setting the stage for how reality will be perceived. It's like watching a master magician perform. They don't just pull a rabbit out of a hat, they make you believe it was possible all along. This isn't about force or coercion. It's about creating a gravitational pull, a force that draws others into their reality. It's the same principle that makes us trust a confident public speaker over a nervous one, even if their content is identical. The difference lies in the strength of their frame, their unshakable belief in what they're presenting. Consider the work of Fritz Heider, an Austrian-American psychologist known for his work on attitudes and persuasion. He introduced the concept of balance theory, which suggests that people prefer consistent and harmonious relationships among their attitudes, behaviors, and the environment. When someone validates your strength of frame, they're not just agreeing with you. They're recognizing your ability to shape reality. This is akin to Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, or the overman, who creates their own values and lives authentically. It's not about being inflexible, it's about being a beacon, a guiding light that others can navigate by. Take, for example, a business negotiation. Two parties are discussing a potential merger. One side is hesitant, unsure, and full of doubts. The other side is confident, decisive, and unwavering in their vision. Who is more likely to shape the outcome of the negotiation? The answer lies in the strength of their frame. The confident party isn't close-minded, they gravity well for the truth as they see it. They're not trying to manipulate or deceive. They're simply presenting their reality with such conviction that it becomes a compelling force. This is the essence of charisma and leadership. It's not about being the loudest or most persistent, it's about creating a reality that others can't help but be drawn to. In a world saturated with advertisements, self-help books, and endless choices, doubt is the currency that keeps the system running. It's the niggling voice that whispers, maybe you need this, or perhaps you're not good enough. This is where the rebel's edge comes into play. Those who never doubt are the disruptors, the ones who refuse to feed the machine. They don't question their choices endlessly, don't seek validation from external sources, and certainly don't buy into the idea that they need more to be enough. This is not mere confidence, it's a psychological stance rooted in what psychologists call cognitive closure. Individuals high in need for cognitive closure prefer clear, unambiguous information and are uncomfortable with doubt. They make decisions quickly and stick to them, which can be incredibly disruptive in a society that profits from indecision. Consider the marketing tactics that rely on creating insecurity. Anti-aging creams advertise fear of wrinkles, while fitness programs prey on body dissatisfaction. Those with the rebel's edge don't entertain these messages. They don't see a wrinkle and think, first need to buy this cream. Instead, they might think, this is part of aging, and first I'm okay with that. This mindset is a form of radical self-acceptance, a concept often discussed in positive psychology. It's not about ignoring problems but about refusing to let external forces dictate your self-worth. By doing so, they disrupt the system that thrives on their insecurity. They don't buy the products, don't attend the seminars, and don't seek the solutions because they don't believe they need them. This refusal to engage is a powerful act of rebellion. Moreover, this lack of doubt can be a form of existential courage, as described by philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre. Sartre believed that individuals must create their own meaning in life. Those with the rebel's edge embody this courage. They don't doubt their path because they've chosen it freely and fully. They trust their judgments and don't seek the constant reassurance that others might. This is not to say they are infallible. Everyone makes mistakes, but the key difference is that they don't dwell on them. They learn and move on, which is a practical application of the psychological concept of growth mindset. In a growth mindset, individuals believe their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They don't doubt their potential because they know it's something they can cultivate. The rebel's edge is not about being right all the time. It's about refusing to let doubt paralyze you. The final thought is a powerful declaration, a manifesto of sorts, for those who have ever been accused of arrogance simply because they refuse to waver. It's a statement that echoes the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, who advocated for a life filled with certainty and conviction. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch or overman embodies the idea of a person who creates their own values and lives by them unapologetically. This is not about ego or hubris, but about substance, about knowing one's worth and acting accordingly. It's the person who, when faced with a choice, doesn't dither or hesitate. They see a path and they take it. They understand that indecision is a luxury the world cannot afford. Consider the story of Steve Jobs, whose unwavering belief in his vision led to the creation of Apple. He didn't spend time wondering if he should take a leap. He took it, building a company that has changed the way we live, work, and communicate. This is the power of a yes. It's not about being reckless or dismissive of other opinions. It's about having the courage to stand by your convictions. It's about understanding that every great achievement in history was not born out of it maybe, but a resolute yes. Think of the civil rights movement, the moon landing, the invention of the internet. Each of these was the result of people who saw a goal and pursued it with unwavering determination. This doesn't mean dismissing the value of caution or consideration. It's not about being impulsive or refusing to listen to others. It's about understanding that there comes a time when you must commit. The concept of commitment in psychology is tied to the idea of self-determination, where people are driven by intrinsic motivation. It's about choosing a path and sticking to it, not because it's easy, but because it's right. It's about understanding that the world needs people who are willing to stand up and say, this is what first believe in, and first I'm going to make it happen. So, the next time someone accuses you of arrogance for your unwavering conviction, remember, you're not arrogant. You're a person of substance. And the world needs more of you. As we've seen, the unshakable confidence of those who never doubt isn't just about blind faith. It's often a result of their intrinsic motivation, a concept known as self-determination theory, where they find personal significance in their beliefs and actions. Yet, this strength can lead to a sense of isolation, a feeling of being misunderstood. Imagine standing in a room full of people, all nodding in agreement, yet feeling a chasm between you and them. It's not just loneliness, it's the weight of carrying your convictions alone. But here's the twist, this isolation can be a crucible for innovation. As Friedrich Nietzsche once said, the man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies but also to hate his friends. The ability to stand alone can birth ideas that challenge the status quo. If this exploration of the psychology behind unwavering conviction has resonated with you, consider this: the next time you encounter someone who never seems to doubt, remember, there's more to their confidence than meets the eye. And if you've ever felt that way yourself, embrace it. Your unwavering belief might just be the catalyst for change. Now, we've delved into the minds of those who never doubt, but what about those who doubt everything? In our next video, we'll explore the psychology of the eternal skeptic. See you there.